Miami, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium, location of Super Bowl 54, and today host of Eric Berry, the league's best pregame pyrotechnics, and the 4-4 Miami Dolphins as they look to take down the jabroni-beating, NFC-leading 7-1 Atlanta Falcons. First play of the game, and it's a bad start for Atlanta as Ray Gilbert fakes and is dropped by Andrew Van Ginkel for the sack. But 2 plays later, the Falcons convert on 3rd and 5 as Gilbert has Casey Rivers wide open in the flat for 12 yards and a new set of downs. Next play, and it's across midfield as Devontae Freeman picks up 12 and another first down. Then facing 3rd down again, Gilbert throwing, steps up and has Kyle Woods for 7 yards and a first down. 2 plays later, Gilbert throwing again, and he's got Austin Hooper down the seam for 29 yards to make it 1st and goal. And that leads to 2nd and goal where Gilbert's throwing and finds McCole Hardman for the 5-yard score, and capping off an 11-play, 76-yard drive to give Atlanta the 7-0 lead. Dolphins turn now, and their first play is a give to Derrick Payne, who jukes one defender and has 14 yards and a first down to start the drive. 3 plays later, 3rd and 5 where Josh Rosen looks to throw, and he finds Devontae Parker for 11 yards and a first down across midfield. Then facing 3rd down again, it's Rosen throwing down the seam to Mike Gesicki for the 17-yard catch. And 2 plays later, it's 17 more as Rosen fakes the give and goes right back to Gesicki, who makes it 1st and goal. Where on the very next play, it's Kenyon Drake right up the middle and into the end zone for an 8-yard score, and Miami responds with a 75-yard drive of their own to tie things up at 7. First quarter ticking down, and on the Falcons' 3rd play, Gilbert fakes and fires to Austin Hooper for 18 yards into Miami territory. Next play, and the toss goes to Devontae Freeman, who goes inside, then outside, jukes back inside, and has 17 yards and another Falcons first down. Next play again, and it's a fake to Freeman this time, and Gilbert has Austin Hooper wide open for 14 yards. And on the following play, Gilbert throwing, and it's right back to Hooper one more time for the 11-yard score, and it's 2 drives, 2 touchdowns as Atlanta takes a 14-7 lead. Second quarter now, and Rosen fakes the give and is going to find Kenny Stills over the middle for 22 yards just across the midfield stripe. Then on 3rd and 5, Rosen throws quick to Kenny Stills again, who's drilled right at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and instead of punting it away, the Dolphins opt for the 60-yard field goal that isn't even close, and Atlanta takes over right at midfield. However, Atlanta can't do anything with it as Jerome Baker screams in on 3rd and 2 to take Gilbert down for the sack, and Miami will take right back over. And on their second play, the chains are moving as Derrick Payne takes the give off the left side for 12 yards and a first down. 2 plays later, Rosen drops the throw and goes to Mike Gesicki, who turns upfield for 15 yards and another Miami first down. Then on the following play, it's right back to Payne on the ground, and he's got 11 more into Atlanta territory. Next play again, and Rosen looks to throw the screen. It's not there, but he fires anyway, and DeMonte Casey comes up with the interception, and Casey's 3rd pick of the year sets up Atlanta in Miami territory, looking to extend their lead before half. And facing 3rd and 7, the Falcons enter field goal range on the Gilbert to Casey Rivers 8-yard completion. 2 plays later, and it's Rivers for another first down, this time on the ground as he picks up 12. Then on 3rd and 9 from the 22, Gilbert wants Austin Hooper, but Rashad Jones is there to break it up. Roland Ford comes on, and his 39-yard field goal is right down the middle, and the Falcons push their lead to 10 as they now lead 17-7. Dolphins want points before half, and on 2nd and 3, Rosen stands in and has Devontae Parker for 13 yards and a first down near midfield. Next play, Rosen throwing again, and he's going to go right back to Parker deep downfield for 27 yards to the Falcons 25. But say hello once again to that magical Madden AI as Rosen goes short to Gesicki, who's wrapped up and tackled. Dolphins rush to the line, call timeout, then send out Matt Gay for a 35-yard field goal, and Miami will head into the break down by 7. Minutes into the second half, and on 3rd and 8 for Atlanta, Gilbert's throwing where his pass is high, and what the is that shit? Jason Verrett shapeshifts and warps 5 yards backward to make the interception, and Miami takes over on the most bullshit turnover of the year. But it would lead to nothing as on 3rd down for Miami, Rosen's throwing, and he would be engulfed in red as Lorenzo McManus takes him to the turf for the sack, and McManus's 3rd of the year forces a Dolphins punt. So Atlanta back to work, and on 2nd and 11, it's Gilbert to Kyle Woods for 13 yards in the first down. 3 plays later, 3rd and 3, and it's Gilbert to Calvin Ridley for 7 yards to move the chains again. Next play, Gilbert once again throwing, and he stands in and goes back to Ridley on the crosser for a 20-yard gain and a first down just inside the Dolphins' 25. Next play, Gilbert throwing again, but can't pull the trigger and steps up right into the arms of Christian Wilkins for the sack. So make it 3rd and 14, where there's no shape-shifting needed this time as Gilbert throws it right to Jason Verrett. He's going to juke Casey Rivers as he brings it all the way back to midfield. And what was the second quarter curse has now bled into the second half as Gilbert throws his second pick of the third quarter. So Miami back to work looking for the tie as Rosen finds Mike Gesicki for 14 yards on the first down. 2 plays later, Rosen with the play fake and looking to throw again, tries to scramble but ends up eating grass as Solomon Thomas drops him for the sack, and the 9-yard loss on Thomas's team-leading 4th sack of the year makes it 3rd and 13. And on that 3rd and long, it's going to be a screen out to Derrick Payne, who gets a block but then is stood up by Isaiah Oliver well shy of the marker, so that brings out Matt Gay, who puts the 43-yarder right down the middle, making it 17-13 and cutting the Falcons' lead to 4. Ensuing drive, Gilbert play fakes and please don't throw at the star, please don't throw at the star. He threw it at the fucking star, and of course it's intercepted by Clark Kent, aka Xavier Howard, and the Dolphins take right back over after Ray Gilbert's 3rd interception of the 3rd quarter. So Dolphins turning with 3rd and inches. Rosen's throwing and wants Kenny Stills, but it's Isaiah Oliver with one hand to intercept it, but no, it's ruled incomplete. Dolphins have no huevos, and the Falcons will get it right back. And facing a 3rd down of their own, it's Gilbert throwing, standing in and finding Calvin Ridley over the middle for 16 yards to convert. 4th quarter now, 3rd down again, where Jordan Buggs just barely picks up enough for the first down. Then 2 plays later, Gilbert with the fake and hits Calvin Ridley for 17 more and another first down. 3 plays later, 3rd and 6, and Gilbert's pass is going to be off the mark and incomplete. So out comes Roland Ford, whose kick is blocked. Dolphins scoop it up and are going to be brought down near midfield, but it's Ford's first missed field goal of his career, and the Falcons' lead remains at 4. 3 plays later, Miami across midfield, and Rosen looks to throw, and he's going to find Kenny Stills over the middle for 18 yards inside the Falcons' 30. Next play, Rosen with the fake to Payne, moves to his right and goes back to Kenny Stills, who makes the catch, breaks a tackle, and is inside the 10 to make it 1st and goal. And 2 plays later on 2nd and goal, it's Kenyon Drake up the middle and surviving the hit to score the 6-yard touchdown, and Miami finds themselves out in front as they take a 20-17 lead. Falcons looking to respond, and facing 3rd and 8, it's Gilbert to Austin Hooper for 18 yards near midfield. Then facing 3rd down again, Gilbert looking to throw, steps up and to his right and watches 80 speed is tracked down by 72 speed. Gilbert's brought down, and with under 6 minutes to go, Atlanta punts it away down by 3. And with a chance to get it right back, Rosen finds Preston Williams for 9 yards to convert on 3rd and 6. 3 plays later, 3rd and 3, Rosen keeps it and is stuffed as we hit the 2-minute warning. Dolphins punter Matt Hawk comes on and blasts a 66-yard punt that is going to hit inside the 5 and go out of bounds at the 3. So work cut out for Atlanta, and on their first play, it's Gilbert going to McCole Hardman, but Kendall Fuller knocks it away. Next play, Gilbert throwing and fires a dangerous pass that's off Kyle Woods' hands and incomplete. And on 3rd and 10 from the 3, Gilbert steps up and hits Calvin Ridley, but he's tackled immediately for only a 5-yard gain. So make it 4th down, where Gilbert's throwing again and fires to the sideline, but it falls incomplete, holding on the play anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Then on 3rd and goal with no timeouts, it's Madden AI nearly to the rescue as they throw a pass that's almost intercepted and almost stops the clock, but instead it's Matt Gay making a 17-yard field goal with 18 seconds to go to give Miami a 6-point lead. Falcons need an absolute miracle. Gilbert stands in, steps up, and fires to the sideline, but the pass once again falls incomplete. And with 8 seconds left, this one's going to end just like it started, with Gilbert's back flat on the Hard Rock Stadium turf. And after Atlanta scores touchdowns on their 2 opening drives and has 17 first-half points, it's absolute disaster in the second half with 3 interceptions, a blocked field goal, and 0 points as Miami storms back for a 23-17 upset. The Falcons fall to 7-2 on the year as they head into their bye week and will look to bounce back in Week 11 against the Patriots. All right, so that was a pretty miserable experience. Basically, we just chalked that one up to one of those All-Madden games that happens every now and again, but I feel like I never should have lost that game. I throw 3 interceptions, one where the player warps 5 yards backwards to intercept it. The second one, I'm holding the left stick all the way in the opposite direction of where the ball ends up going. And then the third one, I knew I shouldn't have thrown it because it was at a guy with abilities, but then he just dives right through my receiver who doesn't really do anything. Then we have the blocked field goal and just a whole collection of stupid things throughout that game, and we fall to 7-2 on the year as we head into our bye week. But moving along here, we had one player to negotiate with, and it was middle linebacker Jermaine Grace, who signed a 1-year deal worth $850K. Middle linebacker is a position that I'll probably be looking at in the offseason, but this is one of those no-risk signings where he gives me numbers at a position and can also be cut without any penalty in the future. We had a draft tweet this week from Matt Miller regarding San Diego State free safety D'Angelo Mitchell that reads, "As DBs go, D'Angelo Mitchell is as good as it gets in this year's draft. What a performance this week." And looking at the draft board, we had only 2 players, starting with middle linebacker Nate Beverly, who is a 2nd-round projection but a 3rd-round true talent. And then below him is the aforementioned D'Angelo Mitchell, who is a 3rd-round projection but a 1st-round true talent. Then lastly, for the team side, we have player upgrades where we start with Ray Gilbert, who reaches a 77 overall after receiving 1-point increases to his deep, medium, and short throw accuracy. Next up is wide receiver Kyle Woods, who becomes a 76 overall with +1s to his awareness, catching, and deep route running, as well as a 2-point increase to his short route running. Following him is right tackle Caleb McGarry, who remains at a 70 overall and sees his pass block rating go up 1 and his pass block finesse rating go up 2. And then lastly is rookie outside linebacker Sean Pearson, who reaches a 63 overall rating with just a 2-point increase to his finesse moves. So going around the league and starting with other scores from Week 9, it was the Vikings beating the Lions 35-13 on Thursday night. Rams beat the Bears, Redskins take down the Panthers, and the Raiders upset the Chiefs. Beats win 24-21 over the Browns, and the Cowboys hammer the Giants. Seahawks, Colts, Ravens, Patriots, and 49ers all pick up 1-score victories. And on Monday night, the Bills easily dispatch of the Jets with a 38-10 win in Buffalo. The Week 9 AFC Offensive Player of the Week award goes to Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. The final pick of the 1st round in the 2018 draft, completed 24 of his 29 attempts for 299 yards and 5 touchdowns to 1 interception as his Ravens won 35-28 in Denver. For the NFC side, it was Vikings quarterback Johnny Salisbury taking home the Week 9 award. The 2020 third-rounder out of Temple completed 75% of his passes for 369 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead his Vikings to a dominating 35-13 win over Detroit. Defensively, the AFC award goes to Dolphins defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. The former first-rounder out of Clemson made 8 tackles with 3 going for a loss, dropped Ray Gilbert twice for sacks while forcing 1 fumble and recovering a blocked field goal in the Dolphins' 23-17 win against our Falcons. Then wrapping up Week 9, the NFC Defensive Award goes to Jalen Smith of the Cowboys. The Notre Dame product made 12 tackles, 11 of which were of the solo variety, and also intercepted Giants quarterback Kevin Rose to help the Cowboys come away with a 38-20 win against New York. And during our bye week, it was the Packers destroying the Rams 35-3 on Thursday night. Jaguars squeak by the Colts, Redskins double up the Eagles, and the Chiefs win 30-24 against the Giants. Bengals and Panthers both win by a touchdown, while the Lions pull off a huge upset of the Browns. Texans beat the Bills, Bears handle the Steelers, and the Vikings fall 38-24 in Seattle. Broncos and Beats pick up 3-point wins, and the 49ers win 27-21 against Tampa Bay on Sunday night. Then wrapping up Week 10 was a 21-16 Monday night win for Tennessee over Arizona. So as we look at the standings, we start in the AFC East, where the Patriots have a 2-game lead over the Dolphins, while the Jets and Bills are under 500 and multiple games back. The North is tightened up as the Browns at 6-3 now hold only a 1-game lead over the 5-4 Bengals and Ravens, while the Steelers remain in last place at 2-7. It's also a tight race in the South as the Jaguars lead the way at 6-3, with the 5-3-1 Texans right on their heels, and the 4-5 Colts and Titans both 2 games back. And then out west, the Broncos are in first place at 7-2 with a 1-game lead over Brooklyn, a 2-game lead over Kansas City, and a 4-game lead over the Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland. Then shifting to the NFC and starting once again in the East, it's the Cowboys atop the division at 7-2 with the Giants 3 games back, the Redskins 4 games back, and the Eagles in last place 5 games back. In the North, the Vikings are in first place and the only team above 500 with a 6-3 record, while the Bears are 2 back at 4-5, and the Packers and Lions seasons are all but over. Despite the loss, we maintain firm control of first first place, as the 4-4-1 Saints are the next closest team, with the 4-5 Panthers behind them and the Buccaneers sitting in last place at 1-8. Then wrapping up with the NFC West, the Seahawks are 7-2 in first place, the 49ers are 6-3 in second place, the Rams are 5-4 in third place, and bringing up the rear are the 4-5 Cardinals. The Week 10 Offensive Award for the AFC goes to the Colts' Andrew Luck. The 2012 number 1 overall pick was 29 of 35 passing for 342 yards and 4 touchdowns, but came up short as his Colts fell 31-28 at home to Jacksonville. Meanwhile, for the NFC, it was Bears rookie quarterback Quincy Price taking home the award. The 31st pick of the most recent draft completed 19 of his 24 attempts for 305 yards and found the end zone 5 times, which was good for a perfect 158.3 passer rating and a 35-7 victory in Pittsburgh. Defensively for the AFC, Joe Schobert of the Browns takes home the Week 10 Player of the Week. The 6th-year linebacker out of Wisconsin made 12 tackles and intercepted Matthew Stafford. However, it was in defeat as the Browns were upset 24-14 by the previously winless Detroit Lions. And on the NFC side, it's a Bears sweep of the awards in Week 10 as the defensive award goes to linebacker Roquan Smith. The 2018 top 10 pick out of Georgia made 8 tackles and intercepted former division rival Kirk Cousins in the Bears' 35-7 domination of the Steelers. Even with the week off, Ray Gilbert keeps his lead in passing yards with 2,656 through 9 games, and then leading the way in both passing touchdowns with 25 and also with an even 134 passer rating is the Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield. Rushing leaders are still the same, with Saquon Barkley and his 1,142 yards rushing and 7.3 yard per carry clip both being a league best. Then with 10 rushing touchdowns, Steelers running back James Conner still leads the way there. The receiving leaders are also the same as last video, with Adam Humphries leading the way with 60 receptions for 934 yards receiving, and continuing to lead in receiving touchdowns with 10 is the Redskins' Albert Wilson. And wrapping up here with the defense, it starts and ends with Falcons as our own Deion Jones leads with 84 tackles, as does Keanu Neal with 4 interceptions. Then sandwiched in between them is Browns defensive end Myles Garrett and his league best 10.5 sacks. Looking forward to Week 11, it's a huge AFC West game on Thursday night as the Beats host the Broncos, Giants head to Tampa Bay, Miami heads to New York to face the Jets, and the Chiefs host the 3-6 Redskins. Eagles at Lions in the dud of the week. 4-5 Colts are at the 4-5 Titans, while the Jaguars head to Houston for more AFC South action. Then it's the 2-6-1 Bills heading to Baltimore to take on Lamar Jackson and the 5-4 Ravens. Panthers head to New Orleans in a battle for second place of the NFC South. Steelers face the Vikings in Minnesota, while the Cardinals face the 49ers at Levi's Stadium. Then up north, it'll be the 3-6 Raiders playing host to the 7-2 Cowboys. Rams head up to Seattle in a must-win game for their NFC West title hopes. We host the Patriots in a Super Bowl 51 rematch. Then on Sunday night, it's Baker Mayfield and the Browns playing at Lambeau against the Packers. And on Monday night, it's the 5-4 Bengals at the 4-5 Bears in Chicago. And that'll do it for both Week 9 and 10 as the bye week is clear and it's nothing but the rest of the season from here on out. Tough loss, but as mentioned earlier, we still have a firm hold of the division lead. Next video is a game against the Patriots and their new MVP quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, so that should be fun. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video and hope to see you back next time for more Falcons franchise action. And as